Welcome back to a new video. So we are continuing to do well. 5.5 games up. We just won 3 out of 4 against the New York Yankees, who are at 500. We are now playing the Philadelphia Phillies. Taj Bradley randomly got suspended in the last game, and we're kind of making things work the best that we can. Our starting pitching has been pretty decent. We brought Kyle Gibson from free agency. He had a good start, so he kind of jumped over Spencer Howard. We put him into the bullpen. TJ Nichols, we promoted him to the rotation as well. Um, and he'll probably drop off him or Kyle Gibson once Taj is back. So it's kind of one of those, we got to figure out which one will end up staying. But we also have Brian Bello coming back pretty soon. And, um, oh, I forget his name, but we have another starting pitcher that's coming back as well pretty soon. So we have a lot of different options for starting pitching, which is exciting. And our offense has been playing a bit better as of late. I'm saying that as he's giving up 2 straight hits and a run. So I've jinxed him, which is, rather unfortunate. But, what are you going to do? We do need some runs. So Phillies are probably a good team. I didn't check their record or pay attention to it in the home screen. Nick Castellanos gets a hit. So hopefully this is a quiet inning, and it is. Jason Hayward, which we brought up just to have another bat, kind of just someone else besides uh, just any of our outfielders, just to have someone there. Hasn't really done much. He's had 1 home run and 1 RBI hit, so I mean he's done a little bit, but looks like Kyle's going to be struggling a bit this game. So 2 runs off 2 runs off 6 hits. Not the best look for us. And no hits for us. So in a perfect game so far. Man, he's kind of stinking today. Get another run, another run, another run. This is a brutal. Well, Kyle, the nice thing is that you get to pitch a lot more unless we get some offense. This might be a game where we don't score anything. So you got to throw a lot of pitches today. So he gets through another inning. Matthew Etzel gets on, and a double play takes that away. So this one might be, we should be smart and put someone else in. So Spencer Howard is tired, so we can't bring him in. Shane Bies is potentially the perfect guy to come in a situation like this to eat some innings. Hopefully he can just pitch the rest of this game because we are not scoring anything. Yep, another strikeout. So we do have 2 hits finally, and we actually got a home run. So um, Nick Gonzalez is hitting to the center field, 425 feet. So down 5, but still not looking good for us. We do get a double play there. Quick inning. But we need a big offensive burst. We got 2 guys on for Brandon Lowe, who's going to roll into a double play. So still not looking good for us. And I think we do start off the ninth with a home run. So we're down 4 still, but it looks like that's going to be it for us. So we do end up getting a couple, but starting pitcher, unfortunately, pitched really poorly. So he wasn't able to get us an opportunity to be able to win that game. We were playing from behind for most of that game. So because we used a lot of pitching we used Shane Bies a lot. He's actually been pitching really well. 0.63 ERA, we'll certainly take that. But for this next game, we could potentially look to waive someone so we can waive and designate him for assignment so we can bring up a pitcher for this next game. Jose De Leon could potentially bring him up. Does he have stamina? So he's 100% rested. We brought Mark Church up earlier and he pitched pretty poorly. Who has more stamina? He has 40, so we're going to bring him up. And this is just kind of if we're blown out or if we're up a lot, kind of just our low leverage, our mop up arm. So that's kind of the strategy I've been using. And it's not as if I really need Jason Hayward to be there now that we have Matthew Etzel back. So we are pretty good there. We could probably actually just hold another pitcher on our roster. But let's look at injuries really quick just to kind of refresh my memory and refresh yours. So Taj Bradley is going to be back in 2 games. Brian Bello is going to be back in a day, and Hunter Brown is going to be back in a week. So we have 3 starting pitchers coming back, and then eventually Andy Paez will be back as well. So this might actually be able to get him into the next game to start, because we don't do rehab with our guys. They just come back in, whether that's good or bad. I haven't ever noticed a difference. If you put them on rehab assignment and bring them back, we do get the first run of this game via home run. So Junior Cabanero's up to 16. Pedro Vila getting the start today. So he's definitely someone that's going to get the axe in the starting rotation once our guys come back. But he's able to work out of that jam, which is nice to see. We get a home run from Xavier Isaac. He's been mashing the ball as of late, so we'd love to see that. They get a single there, and he's able to get through another inning. Matthew is able to get a double. Oh no, Cruz is able to move him to third. Nick Gonzalez is able to move him around, so just a productive outs, 2 productive outs for us. Pedro Avila is trying to hold on desperately to his spot, but he gives up a home run, making our decision even easier. But we're still up 3-1. And Cal Raleigh is up. He hits a home run. Did he? Am I gaslighting myself? I feel like he just did. Sometimes I click through these too much or too quickly, and it's hard for me to be able to see. Pedro Avila is in a bit of a jam here. Gets 1 out. He gets 2. Gives up a run, but we still have a 4-2 lead. Matthew Etzel is out. Oh no, Cruz is out. So Pedro Avila into the 5th inning at 74 pitches. See if he can get 1 more inning. He does. We get a reach on an error, a ground ball double play, and that is it. So we got to bring in some pitching. We don't need to bring in Jose de Leon because we do have a couple of other guys that are more important. We're going to bring in Garrett Clevenger for this inning since we do have at least 1 lefty. It actually would have been better to save it for Justin Crawford because there's 4 straight lefties, but it is what it is. Garrett Clevenger has been a pretty good piece of our bullpen last year and this year, and worked a scoreless inning. So we are going to go ahead and so we're in the 7th. So we're going to go ahead and bring in Brock Stewart. Let him pitch the 7th here. Guy gets on base, gets the 2nd, and he gets out of that inning. Chandler gets on first base because of catcher interference of all things. All right, Matthew Etzel's going to swing away and gets out. Oh no, Cruz strikes out. So awesome, we get him to the 3rd. And don't get that run in. So Brock Stewart pitches a scoreless inning. So now we're going to bring in Chapman, which is perfect because Kyle Schwarber is up. We get him out, get the 2nd out, and get the 3rd out. Junior Caminero flies out, another out. A walk here, but we don't do anything with it. So time to bring in Devin Williams. Gives up the leadoff runner, but prevents any other damage from happening. So we'd love to see that. I'm going to move over here. I need to go to my main channel as I'm doing 2 things at once to upload the last video I made, so last training video. So if you're ever curious, what my training looks like, you can go on my main channel and see that. But I was rendering it. Oh, we're in the first year player draft. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go to import messages. So that's just the same thing here. All right, so we'll go here and see what players we get. Kind of troll that Cleveland's this good this year and has a 2nd overall pick. All right, so we can get a nice starting pitcher. We can get a nice first baseman. His potential is only 60. And we can get a good catching prospect, a good shortstop prospect. Sean Berg. So I feel like going with the starting pitcher is probably the best. We'll see if the scout says, yeah, they agree. His slot was a little bit less, and he had some higher potential numbers. So I was looking here. Usually I like to go for middle. I usually don't like to draft catchers. They seemingly never really develop. See who they want us to get. They want us a 17-year-old center field prospect from high school. I'm not necessarily opposed to that. Yeah, because these other guys, they really aren't that. We'll go with that. want us to go with Sean Burke. Jacob Lombardi's impossible. I never worry about the impossible ones because you can always just give them money as long as you budget properly. Yeah, because I mean, like, if any of these guys like that, like, it's just not worth it. Like, their potential isn't really that high. So I feel like honestly, we're fine with Burke there. See who they recommend. Another reliever, definitely not. A couple different starting pitchers here. It's kind of just a weak class, to be honest. There's not really like, even like our first pick wasn't really that great as far as potential. It was decent, but yeah, we definitely don't want him because he's fragile. And he's 22. I feel like we go with the starting pitcher and just see. Now we're just kind of throwing darts at the board. And he's impossible, and his potential's not really that high. So see if we can find someone else that's. Yeah, there's really just no one left. So this is just a really weak class. So we're gonna go grab this starting pitcher. We'll grab a reliever, and then I suppose we'll grab him because there's nobody left. And now we're just kind of truly throwing darts at the board. 26, that's a crazy age for a rookie. So we're just going to sort it by age and just grab some high school prospects because there's not really anyone else. Usually at this point, I let the AI just kind of draft the rest, but I think we'll just go by it ourselves. Try to grab some hitters, I guess. He's 20, so that's kind of in between for a prospect. Oh, he only has half-star potential. Again, I at least want 1.5. Yeah, we'll throw him on there. Is that our last pick? Now we get one more. There's really all college kids at this point, so we'll just go ahead and grab a shortstop. All right. Check out the negotiations, a couple that we have to give offers to. Let me finish that up. Brian Bellows ready to come off the IL, which means that we can demote him. We have to look at our 40 man and cut someone from there. So we're going to go ahead and waive him. Brian Bellow is back. And so probably just move him to number 3 for now, and then let them sort out the bullpen. So TJ Nichols supposedly hasn't given up a run. I feel like I'm being gaslit, and I feel like he has, but at the same time, maybe they're unearned. Like there's definitely been a run scored when he's been on the bump. So I'm not really sure what that's about because I don't know. I feel like that's happened before, but maybe I'm just dumb, which is a very high possibility of that sort of thing. Moving here, we'll double check free agency too while we're chilling here. So there's actually, I mean, anytime there's a reliever like this just chilling in free agency, I feel like we always just throw him a contract. I feel like that's never a bad idea. Nick Prado. So like guys like this, I'm like, oh yeah, they're pretty decent. They're not, 27. They're not that bad, but they're just not worth it because they can only play first base, and that's such a easy position to fill. We can throw him a contract as well. So just kind of fill up our AAA team with guys that if we need to slot in to the major league level, we potentially can. Hopefully we don't. But we lost the first game against the Phillies, so hopefully we can come back and catch a dub here. We'd love to get some hits. Blake Snell on the bump today. Gives up a solo home run to Bryce Harper. Lefty on lefty matchup, still getting cooked by him. We reach on air for our first hit, strikes out, reach on an air, a fly out, and a is that a single? Yeah, it is a single. So that's gonna 2-out single, gonna score a run. Another 2-out single is gonna score another run. So our offense is putting it back up, and then a 3-run home run by Onel Cruz. We love to see that. That's really a good thing, since he is just a high value shortstop if he's able to hit at all, especially compared to like Brian Roque and stuff, which he had different spurts where he would do decent, but I feel like Onel Cruz is definitely a big improvement upon that. All right, so we have a 4-run lead with 5 runs. They have 2 errors, which has helped us in that regard. Kyle Schwarber hits a home run. We do get Bryce Harper out this time. Leadoff single, a strikeout, a walk. Our backup catcher, who's been batting pretty decent so far since he's been in, does roll into a double play there. Leadoff walk. So Blake's only at 61 pitches, which isn't the greatest for 4 innings, but he's able to keep the lead where it's at. 2 guys on base for Xavier Isaac, who's going to hit a sacrifice fly. Brandon Lowe is going to watch the balk, so that's kind of interesting. Brandon Lowe is now going to ground out. So we've got in second base for Matthew Etzel, and that's going to be it. So we do get another run across. Blake Snell is up to 6 strikeouts in 4 innings and 70 pitches, so he definitely should get through this inning unless he collapses like this. Wow, he is really trying to lose us the game. He gets through that inning just barely. They have Taijuan Walker, and also they have Henry Davis. I think we had him for a little bit. Yeah, we had him for a little bit, which he actually hit decent, so he's not bad. But Taijuan Walker, he's been there for, I don't know, has he ever been? Am I tripping? No, he's with Seattle. I'm thinking of someone else. But the Guardians won again last night, which is kind of insane. Was it 8 games in a row? Blake Snell's at 111. See if we can sneak one more from him. 6th inning, 5 runs. Not a great start by any stretch of the imagination. We get him on base with 2 outs, a hit by hitter and a hit by batter and a walk. But that is going to be it for them. So we are into the bullpen now. So we can look. We have a switch hitter here. So what I think we are going to do, so we're into the 7th now, we're going to reverse what we're going to do normally and bring in Chapman first, since it's a switch hitter, and then lefty, 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 and then we bring in Brock Stewart to face all the righties. Would love to get another run, but that's not going to be the case. Bullpen continues to do well. So bring in Brock Stewart to face the righties. And then we have Devin Williams to face all of the rest of the hitters. So we have a 1-run lead. Devin Williams at 80% energy. See if he can get another save in back-to-back games. Or no, not back-to-back games, but wait, 2 guys on base, but he's able to hold it there. So he's up to over here, he is up to 23 saves. And Chapman and Brock Stewart both get holds. Blake Snell gets a win, even though he gave up 5 runs. So not really that pretty of a series. But we do, oh no, that was 2 saves in a row. So we lost the first game of the series and won the next 2. All right, Taj Bradley is ready to come back in. So that means somebody can get dropped down. Spencer Howard has pitched 102 innings for us. Now this is where it becomes tricky, because we don't want to hold another pitcher. And Pedro Vila has been pitching pretty decent. Kyle Gibson has been pitching pretty decent. Let's move him here. Let's see if Kyle loses his ability to, no, so he's still a decent pitcher. So he's at .63. It's hard to really punish him. Spencer Howard, I think we can drop him down. We can. So we can bring Taj Bradley back. And then he can go into our rotation. So then Pedro Vila, we'll keep him there with the thought that if he starts to struggle, then we do have Kyle Gibson um, to kind of pick up the slack there. We actually have a lot of starting pitching to potentially fill in that last slot, which is really good to see. Spencer Howard's, of course, ready to come back up. So we do have essentially, back when we get to September, that would be someone that we would 100% bring up. Um, oh, he already signed with Minnesota. That's fine. I don't didn't really care too much about that. All right, Brian Bello, right off the injury, right into the game. No rehab time. He doesn't need it. He's a man. He's 40. Not quite 40, but all right. Immediately gives up a hit. He might struggle this game, but you know what? We're not worried about that. Gives up a run, gets out of that first inning. See if we can put up a 10 spot this game. That would be pretty dope for Mr. Bello. Be good for our pitching to not be struggling to hold a lead, right? And we do tie up the game there with a single. We get another run, so we do take the lead there. Give up a leadoff double. Not looking good for keeping him off the board, but we do. Well, no, Cruz gets on. We tried to steal, but he's too scared. We get a hit. We're going to try the double steal, and it works. Junior Caminero is going to fly out and is going to score a run. Braden Lowe is going to ground the ball and move the runner over, but it's going to add to 2 outs, but we do get another run there. Kyle Raleigh hasn't really been doing much for us, unfortunately, but it's kind of nice to be or to have a lot of really great bats, and then it's like, oh, and Kyle Raleigh, and him being like the struggling of the bunch. Because if he starts to get hot, then we really will have a prolific offense. And our offense has been pretty decent lately. Brian Bello is only at 60, so I wonder if that's the rehab thing. I guess his stamina is only at, well, it's at 55, so I don't know why his pitch count is so low. We're going to see if he can get through this inning, though. One more out, and he does just that, so he's able to get a decision today. Oh no, Cruz is going to hit a home run, so that's like 2 home runs in the last couple games. He's up to 15. Did we have him this whole year? No, we traded for him this year. So he's had 7 with us. He had 8 with the Pirates. So he's on a bigger pace than he was with the Pirates, but his batting average is only 198 with us. So that certainly is another guy. Back-to-back home runs is another guy that if he starts to get hot, will make our offense really, really good. So we do have 2 guys that are not doing the best, but at the same time, like we have, like Cal Raleigh here, we have guys that can start to catch fire. Then that would be really good. All right, so he is over his stamina for the day. So that means that in a 4-run lead, I feel like we go. Honestly, TJ Nichols has been pitching pretty well. He threw 54 the other day, but we're going to give Kyle Gibson some more innings here and see how he's able to do. He had a good start for us where we needed it, but Xavier Isaac hitting a home run, just having a lot of power, which we'd love to see. We're getting closer to that 10 number that we were wanting to hit for this game. But he pitched really well in his first start, gave up a couple runs, but he pitched a lot of innings. And bases are loaded now for Tristan Casas. Oh, that would have been nice. But they got it to home on a diving play. I don't know. I don't know if that's happening. A wild pitch is going to get us a run, and that is going to be it. But we do have a 7-1 lead. Kyle Gibson is going to stay in for this inning. He's going to put some guys on. But this is the perfect low leverage situation for him. So we're able to just let him eat some innings for us. And it's important to have guys like that in your bullpen where you have a 6-run lead and it's like, you don't want to really use him in a clutch situation. Gives up a run here, but it's like he's just going to eat some innings. So we're not really worried about it if he gives us some hits and gives up some runs. Let's see. And that's going to be it. So he's at the end of his stamina. So I feel like this is the time where, we could really put in either one, but kind of lower leverage guys. We're going to, they're both about the same amount of innings, so let's go ahead and let TJ Nichols finish out this game, and pretty easy win. So a little bit, it was, they scored first, but we just kind of put it on them for the rest of the game, so we'd love to see that. Oh no, Cruz is above 202 for his average with us. And yeah, 5-game lead still. So for offense, it's just nice. We're eighth in everything though. That's kind of weird. Taj Bradley back off his suspension, ready to come in, ready to fight more people. So we'll see how he does this game. He's been pitching really well this year, and it looks like that's going to continue at least for this first inning. We had a walk here with 1 out, a single, and a fielder's choice gets the runner to the third, but now there's 2 outs. And Cal Raleigh again is not clutch. Kind of crazy. He's hit almost 60 home runs in real life, and for us, he's doing a whole lot of none of that. Did we get him this year? We did get him this year. He's only hit 9 home runs this year. So certainly not at a good pace, but same time, for your catcher, I always feel like catchers always perform really poorly. Um, so if we get any production from him at all, or have the potential to have production from him, then certainly will be a good thing. Taj Bradley continuing to pitch well, except as soon as I say that, he gives up a solo home run. And that's it. All the damage he gives up. We need to score a run. We're going to win if we didn't score a run anyway. I think Tristan Casas has 2 walks today, but it's a double play ball. Going to knock us out of that inning. 2 outs there. Taj is able to get through another inning. Would really love a run, but it looks like we're not going to get anything in that inning. Just 1 hit for us today. Taj is going to get through another inning, so he's well rested from his suspension. We'll see if Matthew Etzel, we get him to steal, get something going. Base on balls. We're going to try a double steal. Double steal. There we go. Oh no, Cruz, clutch up. Oh, strikes out swinging. That's so dumb. All he had to do is put the ball in play. He's at 77 pitches, so we're going to see if he can get through this inning. He does just that. Junior Caminero is going to get on base with a single. Strikes out looking. Cal Raleigh is finally hitting a home run, which he has not done for a while, but it's a 2-run home run to put us up 2-1, so we'd love to see that. Moving into the next batter, Randy is going to get out. So I think that means that Taj is going to have a decision today. We're going to let him pitch this inning. He's only at 85, 93 now. It's 2 outs there. So he actually got through 7. So he definitely gets the decision today as long as we hold on to this lead. We got 2 guys on base for Tristan Casas, who gets walked as well. Junior Caminero is up, and he is going to fly out Brandon Lowe. I mean, those are the guys you want up in those situations, and neither one of them came up clutch. So we still have a 2-1 lead. We're in the 8th inning now. So we have Devin Williams is at 89% energy. So we're going to let, actually, we're going to go Abner Uribe and then Razul for the save, potentially. We might just go with, all right, so we might still go with Devin Williams, but Razul has 100% energy. So I feel like we can give him the opportunity, let Devin get some rest tonight. Might be a bad decision. Tying runs on third, but he's able to get the save there, so ends up being a good decision for us. So we win 2 in a row against Texas. We're going for the sweep here. We've had a lot of sweeps this year. Almost our whole lineup. I mean, Matthew Etzel's never going to hit 10 home runs because he doesn't have any power. But we might get everyone but Matthew to have 10 home runs plus this year, which is crazy that our home run is still tied for ace. I guess we don't really have anyone that's like abnormally high. Baltimore Orioles are 54 and 40, so we are well ahead of them, but they are definitely making the wild card, and Boston's kind of chilling around there. So they're ahead of the Guardians now, which is interesting. So now we have Kyle, who struggled in his last start here, getting the start here today. So hopefully he pitches a bit better today. Gets a quick inning for the first one, a leadoff double. He advances the third, and a 2-run home run. So it doesn't even matter if he advances the third because Junior Caminero is going to go a yard. So a quick 2-0 lead for us, a single here. So Cody Bradford is struggling a bit, and another hit for Cal Raleigh. And another hit, so we get another run. Matthew Etzel is up. So we start out the inning, or start out the game and the first inning with a 3 spot. So we'd love to see that. Certainly is going to make pitching for Kyle just a little bit easier. 2 quick steals for Chandler Simpson and a sacrifice fly, just free RBIs for Nel Cruz. And that is going to be all that we score that inning. So another run, give us a 4-0 lead. Kyle's pitching so far a lot better than last game. No hits so far for him. I'm sure they'll get something at some point. We don't get anything that inning. It's 1 out, 2 outs, and a third out. Matthew Etzel strikes out. Chandler strikes out. A 2-out single. Needs a steal. And we get a single here, so the steal ends up helping us out, which allows Onel Cruz to be able to score from second base with 2 outs. So another run for us. And that is going to be all the scoring we do, but we have a 5-0 lead. We hit a batter, we get a strikeout, and a double play. So a no-hitter so far since a runner has gotten on, which is kind of cool to see. I'm sure that will change. Cal Raleigh, another home run. So now he's starting to pick up the pace there. So that is really good. So a 7-0 lead, so we can really give Kyle a chance to take this game deep. He's only at 68 pitches. I'm sure he'll give up hit. There we go. That's their first hit. But he's pitching really well. Chandler Simpson gets a triple. Oh no, Cruz is hitting a single to score another run. So our offense is just doing a lot this game. So we'd love to see that. Junior Caminero is going to sacrifice fly, advance him to third with 2 outs, and that's going to be it. But we do get another run across. See if he's able to get another quick inning, and he does just that. Tristan is out. Cal is out. Randy is out. He's at 91 pitches. We'll see if he's able to get close to a complete game. Gives up a run, so his shutout's done. Unfortunate, yeah. Unfortunate, he was not able to get out of that inning. So we're going to just look here. So we're still at 5 runs, so we are going to bring in Shane. He gives up another run, but that is going to be it for them. I don't believe that's earned to him. Matthew Etzel, Chandler, and Onel Cruz all get out. Just going to leave Shane in for this last inning. Gives up a run. Unfortunate for him. They get another run. But that is it for them. So a little bit of noise at the end of the game. I believe Kyle, yeah, all 4 of those were earned to him, and Shane gave up 1 run. But he does get the win today, so he's up to 11 on the year. So definitely a solid start. We kept him in, pushed the envelope there at the end, but with a big lead like we had, that's something that you can definitely kind of get away with. Obviously, if it was a close game, I would have probably just taken him out a lot earlier, or at least, during that inning when he started to struggle. But, something he had the opportunity to go for a shutout in a full game. So we want to give him the opportunity. Pedro Avila is on the bump today. So we'll see if he's able to. I mean, at any point he could lose his spot in the rotation. So he really has to pitch well every game. So there's a lot of pressure on him to continue to perform because we have Kyle Gibson that is in the bullpen, Spencer Howard that's down in AAA that's willing to take his spot. So we have a lot of guys. But I mean, if he continues to pitch how he is, then he'll be secure in his spot and won't have to worry about it until who comes back. I keep forgetting his name. I know he in real life pitches for the Houston Astros, but until he comes back, he's kind of secure in his spot. And yikes! Fortunately, Pedro is making the decision a no-brainer. That grand slam that he gave up, unfortunate for us, but you know what? It is what it is. We need to score some runs to pick him up. We get 2 guys on base with no outs. A strikeout here, a fly out. The bases are loaded for Matthew Etzel and a 2-run single. So we do cut the deficit in half. We got 2 guys on base for Xavier Isaac, and he's hitting a 3-run home run. So we picked up Pedro Avila. Now we have a lead after the 5 spot, after a 6 spot. So 2 straight home runs, 6-run inning. Massive offensive output for us in this inning. And we get another guy on base. But that is going to be it. So we do put a 6 spot on there. Pedro Avila has been picked up. Is he going to immediately give up runs? Yep. He needs to get out of this inning so he can get a decision. He does just that. Really should have just taken him out as soon as he started to struggle. He didn't really earn the opportunity to stay in there. We're going to let him stay in, though, to see if he can get a quick inning. So it gives us a runner. So now we're going to play it safe since he's at the end of his stamina anyway. So we're in the 6th inning here. So we're going to look to potentially bring in someone else. We could bring in Abner again. We could bring in Rasul again since we're in the 6th. So what I think we'll do is we'll go Rasul, Brock, and Devin Williams. See if he's able to get out of this inning. He is. Matthew Etzel gets on base, and he gets caught stealing. Xavier Isaac gets on base. He's able to stay in the game. We got 2 guys on base with 2 outs, but that's going to be all that we do. So now we move on to. We really just have a devastating bullpen. Just have Brock Stewart here. Essentially, we have like 4 closers. Yeah, do we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have 4 legitimate closers. So we really just have a devastating bullpen. Brandon Lowe hits a leadoff double. A single is going to score him and give us a 2-run lead. Calrelli flies out. Randy is going to get a walk to get on base. Matthew Etzel is going to get out. Xavier Isaac, he's going to get out. So Noel Cruz is also going to get out. So we do get another run across, which is going to make Chapman's job a little bit easier. So throw him for this inning. Gives up an error. And that's it. Andy Rodriguez is up for them, pitching and going to pitch a scoreless inning. Moving into Devin Williams territory for the top of the ninth. See if he's able to have a quick inning here. Gives up 2 base runners, but is able to hold the lead for us to give us the big dub. Kind of a crazy middle of the middle of the game bar graph. You see how their likelihood of winning was super high, and then immediately collapsed after that inning when we scored 6 runs in response to that. So St. Louis isn't really that good this year. 3 games under 500, so we're taking care of business against them. Pedro Avila is up to 6 wins. ERA is 3.35, so it's gone up a little bit, but I mean, this is pretty good for starting pitching. I need to know who our injured guy is. Hunter Brown. So he's coming back on the next day, so he most likely will just take that 5th spot. Our rotation is actually diabolically good. Owen Ayers, 25 years old. He said, I've had enough of this minor league life. I'm going to go sell insurance. Understandable. Jason Hayward is refusing to be demoted, which is fine. You can go be a free agent and then have him there. I feel like, did I turn it on to the game where I have it so they promote? All right, I actually like the AI doing this because then it moves players around yourself in the minor leagues. And I feel like they develop better when you let the AI do that because they just move players around randomly. Not really randomly, but they move them around for you, of course. And I feel like it does a pretty decent job. Um, so, what is our friend? Is it one more day from now? So he's ready to come back. So we could move Pedro to the bullpen. And now we're in a kind of a interesting spot. So we have several guys that, we could drop off in AAA. Like Shane Baez, 1.12. It feels weird to like punish any of these guys. I think Pedro, we actually just dropped down to AAA. He can hang out with Spencer Howard, the guy he was competing for that 5th spot. And then we have Hunter Brown, who is a 4.56 in Houston this year. So he actually hasn't pitched for us at all this year. But at the same time, he's an upgrade, I feel, over Pedro Avila. So even though Pedro got the win last game, that grand slam, I think, kind of put me. Well, I mean, Hunter Brown's just going to be a better option anyway. So Blake Snell, is he full? So he's fully rested. All right. What's his health status? He's okay. He's okay. All right. So we'll see how Blake's able to do today. His ERA is a little bit higher than we would like, and it's going to continue to get higher. We get a leadoff single, an out, another out, and another one. So we get the leadoff guy on, but that is it. Blake Snell's getting up a lot of base runners. And nothing for us. Another run given up by him. So Blake Snell could be the odd man out at some point. We do have a lot of options for pitching, and if he's really struggling, then it will be an easy decision to make to not have him be. Wow, he is really sucking today. So what is happening? Yeah. Another run. So a big 5 spot by him. It's really bad. So Blake Snell up to 96 pitches. He honestly, 5.92 ERA. He's really struggling in 38 innings. Not good. but we can bring in TJ Nichols. He's able to get out of this inning. So we need a lot of offense. I don't know if it's going to be this game, unfortunately. I think this one might be a loss. Only 3 hits today. TJ's pitching pretty well. We could just put Blake Snell in the bullpen. He probably won't like that, but I don't like him giving up 7 runs. So, I mean, we're kind of on the same boat there. He could pitch better. he could maybe not suck so bad. TJ gives up a home run. Gives up another run. I guess he's at the end of his stamina anyway. But he's going to finish pitching out this game since it's a 9-run deficit. Unless we score about 8 more runs this inning. Gives up a walk. A steal. Another walk. Go ahead and get out of this inning. Hey, that's fine, TJ. You're pitching garbage innings, so we don't care about this game. Since it's already lost. Don't want to waste any more pitching for this one. So we're going to come here. So we have like Tyler Herb that's ready to, we have a lot of guys that are ready to be in AAA. Angel Martinez not developing. Always interesting when that happens. So Blake Snell, he's being promoted to the bullpen. TJ Nichols is, Kyle Gibson was a 2.5 star. He's already degraded. See if we put him here if he goes back. So he does. So we have 2 Kyles pitching for us. So we're going to put Kyle here. See how he's able to do. Blake Snell is going to be a bullpen arm for us. He's going to be a setup man, which is interesting. So we have 2 setup mans that are left-handed. I think we're past the trading deadline, aren't we? Yeah. So let's look here at pitching. I'm going to go ahead and release him. Release him. Release him. So he's only a 2-star reliever. Let's set him as, yeah, so that's why he's in AA. These guys are all pretty bad right now. Just kind of cleaning up our minor league system as these guys kind of regress naturally. Then just kind of move guys around. We don't have anyone on the international scene. We're going to go here and or go to our home page. Why is our... Oh, we need this all the way. Why is... Oh, this one. Oh, I don't know why the homepage I clicked there is different than up there. I had a bit of a stroke there for a second, but let me go ahead and look at minor league pitchers. So Jose, someone that we can sign. Batters. We're going to bring in Connor here. No one else that's really too interesting. I guess we could throw him a contract. Just to have these random guys to kind of just backup players. Not really important things for us. We are playing against Ranger Suarez. I think he got a massive contract. I feel like, yeah, that's kind of crazy how much money they gave him and how bad their team is. Kind of feels bad. I feel like the large contracts, especially in this game, but even in real life, just don't work out a lot unless it's like the New York Yankees or something where you can just pay everyone. See how Hunter Brown does today. Not doing too well in this first inning, giving up 2 runs. So not a good start by him. What's nice though is we have a lot of options for pitching. So I mean, like this game, if he's pitching pretty crappy, we can bring up Spencer Howard or Pedro. Hope that we get a little something more out of our fifth fifth pitcher. The bases loaded here with no outs. We get 2 runs. I got the deficit in half. First out, another run here, and we don't tie up the game, but we do get 3 back. He is going to give up another run just to make sure that we can't catch up as easy. Another guy gets on base, a strikeout, another single, Cal Raleigh, big clutch. He's going to hit a RBI double. Whoop, a basin clearing double. Xavier Isaac is out. So we do end up taking the lead here in this inning. Hunter Brown is at 59 pitches, so he is quite near the end of his stamina. So we're just going to go ahead and take him out. I think it's time for Shane to come in. Devin Williams is on a heat streak right now. Shane's been pitching pretty well out of the bullpen. He just kind of is that perfect spot where we need, like how this guy, our starting pitcher, Hunter Brown, um, had to come out early because of his stamina. We have a guy that can come in and eat some innings for us. A true long reliever, a solo home run for Brandon Lowe. So he's up to 20 for the year. So he's our first hitter to get to 20 home runs. And that's going to be it for us that inning. See if Shane can get through this inning as well. A 2-out walk, but that's going to be it for them. 2-out double. That's going to be it for our offensive output. 2 hits there. I think we go ahead and bring in another pitcher. We're into the 7th inning. We have several guys that could potentially come in, so we're going to bring in Razul. Could be a bad decision. Gets the first out. Gets the second out. Oh, he gets a double play. Even better, so he's able to get the hold there without giving up any runs. Xavier Isaac is hitting another home run, so a 2-run home run. The guy is popping off. He's at 20 home runs too, so we have 2 guys that got up to 20 home runs. So we might need to look at our batting order, maybe move him up a little bit since he's been popping off, but maybe it's best not to touch anything since he's been doing well. He threw 28 pitches in that last inning, which is kind of crazy. But we have Chapman here to get the hold, hopefully. And he does just that. So we have a 4-run lead, so I think we just leave Chapman in. Unless he's going to give ever. Jeez. Alright, that's double play to end the game there. A little bit of a nerve-wracking bases loaded situation that he put us in there. Look here. So let's look at our lineups and see. So we have Ono Cruz up there. He's been struggling a bit. So I think we bring Xavier Isaac up and have him bat over Cal Raleigh. And we move Cal Raleigh down. Or at least there, we can leave him there. Let's look at our hitting as well. So if we sort by batting average, Sergio Alcantara, he is really struggling with us with the 160 average. We'll see if we have anyone that could potentially come up and replace him. So we have Luis Regimfo. Could potentially do it, but Brendan Rodgers. So we have a couple of guys that kind of fill in that slot. I kind of wanted to just bring up Khalil Watson and let him just fill that slot. Because, I mean, if we're going to have a low average, let's see if we can demote him. So we'll just go ahead and waive him. Because the nice thing with Watson is that he can play kind of every position. So his second base is actually his best, but he can play left field, a little bit of shortstop, third base, right field, left field. He can play everything. So we're going to set him as second base. And yeah, so that's his best position. And potentially he bats left. So we don't want to bring him in for Nick Gonzalez. But since Nick Gonzalez has been struggling, we could have Khalil bat against right-handed pitching for him. Give him another opportunity up here at the major league level. The 167 average, he struggled before, but he did have that little bit of a heat streak where he hit a bunch of home runs. Brandon Lowe wants a new contract. I don't know if we have money. Yeah, we're kind of low on money there, Brandon. So you're kind of up creek without a paddle. We're at the top of the power rankings, which we'd love to see. Chandler Simpson's up to a smooth 91 stolen bases without even playing every day, which is still awesome to see. We have six game lead. So we're going to go ahead and play this series against the Washington Nationals. See if we can get another series win or a sweep. Would be even better. They have a pretty solid lineup here, so it might be difficult to do. We got Kyle Bradish on the mound today. We don't do anything this first inning. And James Wood gets a walk, but they don't do anything this inning. How old is Xavier Isaac? He's only 22, and he's up to 20. Yeah, he's going to be a superstar. Like, it's actually popping off. Brandon Lowe is someone that we might not be able to bring back, we just might not be able to afford. But someone like Xavier Isaac is just going to be able to fill in that slot, and he's just going to be the person that we want. Lane Thomas is back on the Washington Nationals, which is kind of funny to see. We get two guys on base, but they don't score anything. Khalil gets out. Etzel gets out. Cal Raleigh with a single, and that's going to be it for us. So only both teams have one hit today. I guess now they have two, and a run, and three hits, and another run. So Kyle is struggling a bit here in this inning. So we're going to need to score some runs. We get two guys on base for Brandon Lowe, who strikes out. Xavier Isaac strikes out, and Randy gets out. So we got two guys on base with no outs, and just everyone gets out. Unfortunate for us. Scoreless inning. Khalil gets out. Matthew gets out. And Cal gets out. So he's into the fifth. He's at a smooth 69 pitches. He's able to pitch another scoreless inning. We really need some offense. Tristan Casas gets a base hit. We get another base hit. Brandon Lowe strikes out. He's had a struggling day. A wild pitch is going to advance both the runners. Xavier Isaac is going to watch another wild pitch. What a goofy thing. So that's a walk there. Randy is going to reach on an error. So we have two wild pitches, a score run, and an error. A really great inning for the Washington Nationals. And Cleo Watson is going to strike out looking, but we do tie up the game here. So Kyle has new life as he gives up a leadoff double. The runner advances to third, walks a batter, walks another batter, but is able to work out of that jam. So that would probably be this last inning. I'm pretty sure his pitch count's going to be pretty high. He's at 103 or 102 pitches. Sometimes it's hard to see that with the red text on the white shirt. Perhaps I'm just colorblind or having astigmatism, or maybe it's both. So Blake Snell is on a bit of a cold streak, but this is kind of an opportunity for him to right the ship. He can pitch hopefully a scoreless inning, and he does just that. So we can kind of build back his confidence, and maybe that's just his new role is just to be, a high leverage arm in the bullpen. We can let him. Well, it's a switch hitter, so we'll let him pitch against that guy, and then we're gonna bring in right-handed pitcher. So we're gonna bring in Iglesias. Walks a batter. Oh no, he's collapsing. Oh no, he's collapsed. Oh, he collapsed. That's unfortunate. Wow, Razul. Brother. Oh, that sucks. Well, we got the game tied, but unfortunately Iglesias collapsed there and ruined the game for us. So offense didn't do that much to help us out, but we do get the loss there, 8-2, because of that sixth spot that Iglesias gave up there. Which, stuff like that's going to happen. We still have the number one ERA bullpen, number one stolen bases, which we probably always will be as long as Chandler Simpson's on our team. Really, probably if I'm playing every game, it probably will always be kind of that the case, because you can always just kind of force stolen bases with anyone that has the ability. Although I haven't been doing that quite as much this year. All right, Brian Bell is getting his second start today since coming back from his injury. He's able to pitch a scoreless first inning. We need to put it on this team this game. We need to score 50 runs at least. He is able to get through 2 scoreless innings. Chandler Simpson's hitting a home run. Really? How many home runs is it? It's his first home run this year. That's hilarious. That's actually hilarious. We get 2 guys on with 2 outs for Brandon Lowe, who's unfortunately been struggling with guys in scoring position. Hasn't been having a lot of those big hits that we're used to him having. With his 256 average and 58 RBI, still leading the, or no, he's not leading the team. Junior Cabanero's leading the team now. So he's fallen behind with that. Randy's getting a home run. He's been a nice pickup. He's only batting 213 with us. But I guess because Seattle, he was 194, so 258 with us. So his average with us has been pretty good. And in half the games, he has the same amount of home runs and RBIs. So, I mean, his offensive production has been significantly better since he moved over to us. And I think a lot of that is because he's hitting probably in a better lineup, but like hitting behind someone like Brandon Lowe, he's probably going to get good pitches or, hitting actually in front of Cal Raleigh, I should say. He's going to get good pitches because pitchers are probably not going to want to throw or walk a guy with Cal Raleigh coming up, even though he hasn't been the best with us. Can we steal? Can we steal? We're going to force him to steal. All right, good. And a double here is going to score Matthew Etzel. Probably would have scored from first anyway. No, Cruz got hurt, which is not good. Which means Khalil. This is the perfect spot. This is, oh wait, no. Khalil, and he's come in for, oh no, Cruz. Is Nick Gonzalez better at short? No, he's okay at short. How is Khalil at shortstop? He's 35. So we're going to put Khalil at second base and Nick Gonzalez at short. And then let Junior Caminero hit a 2-run home run. That's exactly what we'd like to see. Another home run. So we're taking revenge for the previous game. A walk here, so still nobody out. There's their first out. A single, which is going to allow the runner, the trailing runner gets out because Cal Raleigh decides to run his fat self to second base. Nick Gonzalez is going to hit a 2-out double, which is going to score the 7th run of the game. Chandler Simpson, who randomly hit a home run today, strikes out there to end the inning. Brian Bello getting through an easy 5 innings. We get a guy on base with the easy steal. Khalil is going to hit a single here, which somehow does not score second fastest guy on our team. Rather unfortunate, but Junior Caminero is going to watch the wild pitch happen. We're going to have Khalil actually steal second. Junior Caminero is going to get walked here. Trayson Casas, bases loaded with no outs. And then we have Brandon Lowe up next. This is exactly the situation that we want in. He's going to hit into a double play. So we get a guy on third still. We do get a run from that and a 2-run home run. Brandon Lowe is breaking out of his cold streak and is matching a home run. It looked like it barely just got over the wall. 376, it probably just did. Although that higher wall, I imagine, is not 300 or not super far. But single here, so we get another. So we have 3 runs this inning, and that is going to be it. Brian Bellows at 75 pitches, so we're going to see if he can get through this inning here since we do have an 8-run cushion now that he's given up 2 runs this inning. One more. Oh my goodness. He's collapsing. All right. So we kept him in too long, but when you have 10 runs, you kind of get that. You have that advantage. So we're making his stats worse, but that's all right. So in this kind of situation, we can really bring in either one of these guys. I think it's time for TJ to come in. I think he's kind of our low leverage pitcher. Between him and Shane, I feel like between the two, though, I would choose Shane to come in. He's been pitching better this year. Need a single here, a strikeout, and an out. So we'll just let TJ pitch the rest of this game. We get guys on first and third. We get another run off the fielder's choice. And that is going to be it. So TJ's going to hopefully finish out this game. Hopefully he doesn't give up 7 runs. He does not. So we do take that game against Washington. And so we have one more game against Washington. A good offensive output. Brian Bellows up to 3 wins this year. We might be able to get 2 different pitchers above 10 wins. I suppose we have enough games where I mean, it's unlikely, but potentially Brian Bello could get close to that. But he would have to win like every start the rest of the year. Um, Wait, we can make trades? I thought the trade deadline was done. So bullpen arm. All right, we got. If we can make trades, I gotta look at that because we have a lot of guys at AAA that we can look to trade. All right, so he is back and ready to go. So that's exciting. So Sergio, we're gonna put him in AAA. Um, Man, our bullpen's actually kind of crazy. So Blake Snell, he's a 4-star bullpen arm. Can we trade him? Oh my goodness. I don't know why I couldn't see that before. Let's see if somebody's interested in Blake Snell. We can get Chris Sale. That'd be a crazy pickup. Josh Hader. An injured Tanner Scott. We could get Tyler Soderstrom as a backup catcher, which I feel like that would be an upgrade over Christian Bencourt. And Cal's been struggling too, so that could be an option. We can get Jordan Walker. He's only batting 223 this year, but he has good speed. That's a really interesting trade. Oh no, Cruz hurt. Yeah. So a shortstop could be useful for the long term. We just like I want Jordan Walker, someone like that, but the problem is we just don't need. We have enough outfielders. Like Xavier Isaacs kind of locked down left field, unless we made like a really radical trade for Brandon Lowe. Actually, that could be an interesting trade. So Jordan Walker is an interesting one. Um, Tyler Soderstrom. I feel like that's honestly probably the smartest trade for us to make. He's only batting 200 this year, but I mean, this is Blake Snell we're talking about, so we need to get some good value for him. Let's go to multiplayer. This could be a risky trade deadline for us. See if there's any 3.5 stars they throw on here. Not really. So we're going to take Blake Snell off. We have Tristan Casas, who has 16 home runs, so like he's kind of locked down first base. Brandon Lowe's on an expiring contract, and it's $11 million. So we're most likely not going to be able to afford him. Let's just see what's there. We don't want to do a multi-person trade probably. We'll double check the prospects. I mean, maybe there's a crazy prospect pool for this guy. Nope. So we can get another bullpen arm, even though he has a 7 ERA this year. Yikes. But really high skill. That could be good for the future. Really want to get rid of Josh Hader, apparently. Dustin May, torn flexor elbow. Kind of don't want to trade for a guy that's going to be out for 14 months. Pablo Lopez would be a good starting pitcher. Clay Holmes would be a good starting pitcher. Again, we can get Jordan Walker. And then, I mean, that could be a smart like money move here. It feels wrong to get rid of Brandon Lowe. That's losing. I mean, he had 37 home runs last year, 21 this year. But it could be the kind of risky trade that we're able to make. Let's just look to see what we can get to work here. Can we potentially get if we can get Mason Wynn? That would be that would put me over the top. They really don't want to trade Mason Wynn. Nolan Arenado, unfortunately, kind of cheeks. Yeah, I just like Jordan, we can probably just make a trade for Jordan Walker without that. So let's remove and see who they would want. Nick Gonzalez. That could be an interesting trade. Andy Paez. He's back in 2 days, and he is just a outfielder, which we kind of have an excess of. Which I mean, that's kind of I think that's an improvement. So we'll go ahead and make that trade. You can strongly advise against that, but I'm fine with that. All right, so that's why we were looking at Blake Snell potentially trading him. Um, does he have a multi-year? That's why teams. Hey, he is really expensive. All right, so we're not getting enough value from for how much money he's costing, so we're actually going to go ahead and make a serious a serious attempt to try to shop him, especially since there's a lot of interest for him. We could get someone like Chris Sale, who is pitching fantastic this year. So then that would make our rotation kind of insane, even though he's older. Someone like Josh Hader would be expensive. And Tyler Soderstrom's kind of there too. So I feel like if we're looking at catching, he can play first base a little bit too, which isn't really that useful for us. Um, let's look here, remove Blake Snell, and see if there's someone else that we can trade for him. I kind of feel like we can afford to get rid of Nick Gonzalez. 232 or 239 average, not doing a ton for us from a defense standpoint, and we have Khalil Watson to kind of fill in that slot. So I think we go ahead and make this trade, and then we can go back and we can look at Blake Snell and I mean Chris Sale. That's an interesting one. Diamondbacks would give us. Does he play just first base? Just looking to see if there's anyone. Nolan Gorman. Is his rating? Doesn't he have good power? He does have good power. So I think we might just trade for him. We pull off Blake Snell immediately, and they want a bullpen arm. That's a fantastic trade for us. And then we can look here and then see that the Braves want to give us Chris Sale. Could we get Clayton Kershaw too? That'd be a little crazy, wouldn't it be? Oh, they just are straight up wanting to give us both. Just throw Ronaldo on there too. Um, give up a good pitching prospect in Double A for three. I mean, he has a 4.59 ERA. What's his contract at? So his contract's not too bad. Clayton Kershaw's is expensive, but he could retire any year. And then Chris Sale is. So now we're going to see if we can get them to retain some of it. So they really want a lot for that much. They'll straight up just keep 75 or 65%. We'll see here if we can give up just another random prospect. Colt Emerson. Um, yeah, they just want a little bit too much for that. We'll go to 70. So they'll just keep 70 there. See if they'll keep 70 of this. We gotta always be trying to save money. 20%. 5%. All right. 10%. All right, you can keep 5% of that. What about Chris Sale? You want to keep 20%? So, I mean, that's definitely a trade I don't mind making. Go up a little bit, making this work. Wheeling and dealing. This is insane how much they're keeping of it. So then with this trade, we have to give it Blake Snell, who, is still a 4-star pitcher, but has pitched pretty poorly for us. Granted, he did pitch well at the bullpen last one, but he's extremely expensive for the amount of time that we have him. And then we can get them to keep 70% of Clayton Kershaw's contract. We get Chris Sale to be the 5th starter, and then we have Ronaldo Lopez as well. It's honestly a crazy good trade for us, I think. All right, so we have a lot of guys, a lot of guys that we just traded for. So we have a new team, and we have Matt Brash that we have to find a spot for because he's a beast. So we're gonna get Soderstrom up there, and then yeah, we gotta move a lot of stuff around. So this is gonna be a longer video because I still want to play more. Um, we're going to can we demote him? All right, so we have to waive and designate him for assignment, which is going to allow us to get Nolan up there. Oh no, Cruz is hurt. We don't know what his injury is. So we're just going to let them configure the lineup right now, and then we can move stuff around. So Khalil, we can probably drop him down. Because then we have Nolan Gorman that we brought up. And then pitching wise, we have so many good pitchers now. It's kind of insane. So Hunter Brown, we can demote. Kyle Gibson, you can see he's already regressing there. So we're going to go ahead and just waive him. Because, I mean, we have Clayton, Chris Sale, Ronaldo. And so I'm probably saying his name wrong, but I can't find it now. Jordan Walker. We also have to make a spot for Hunter Brown. Oh, you ready to go to the major league level and poop to bed? All right, so Chris Sale, throw him in the lineup. That's actually just insane that we have him as a 4th starter. So he's probably going to be at the top. Kyle's going to be 2nd. Brian Bello can be 4th. And then Clayton Kershaw, still 2.5 star, as our 3rd pitcher. And then TJ Nichols, we can demote to AAA. Let them figure out the bullpen here. Our bullpen is, our pitching is insane. Brian Bello is our worst starter, and he just came back from injury. We have a spot for Jordan Walker now, and we just have to make a spot for him. On Hill, we'll just go ahead and waive and designate him for assignment. Jordan Walker's up to there. And then now we can look at our lineup. As far as, so we actually kind of do need to have, or Nolan, can he play short? He can't play short. So we kind of do need to have Khalil Watson up. Chandler Simpson is on the big struggle bus this year at 223. Pitching, so it's the tough spot that we're in. So like Jordan Walker doesn't fit perfect in our lineup, but he's such high potential. He's doing the same thing as Chandler Simpson. So what I think we do is actually we demote him, and then we have to bring up someone like, I mean, we don't want to bring him back up. And where's Khalil? And we just have Khalil up to be a backup. So they really want Xavier Isaac starting out. He's batting 277 this year now. I kind of like the idea of him being first. I actually don't think our lineups look too bad. But we don't know what Onel Cruz injury is, so that could allow us to bring up another pitcher. So now we are playing our last game against the Washington Nationals after making a bunch of trades. Let's actually look at something as well, our decision history. So Parker Meadows, we don't have anymore. We traded him to Seattle, which his average has dropped tremendously since getting traded there. So that is a really good trade for us. And we got Kyle Bradish. He's been doing well. Drew, well, that was the glitch, I remember, earlier in the rebuild. Dylan Dingler has been struggling with Pittsburgh. Brian Rogie, unfortunately, is out. He's actually was hitting really well for us. Tristan Casas, obviously really good. Spencer Howard suspended. What are you doing in AAA? Lane Thomas, we actually got at one point, but we traded him this year to Washington. We actually traded him back to where he was, so that wasn't that was us that did that. Cal Raleigh has been pretty mid for us, but he's batting better than he was in Seattle, I suppose. And Onel Cruz, kind of in a weird spot now. So some of the guys that have done well elsewhere, Drew Rasmussen, Cal Manzardo. He's had 20 home runs this year, so I mean he's pretty good. He just was always in a weird spot with us because of the fact that he was never really able to find. We have too many good first basemen with Brandon Lowe that's kind of locked down first baseman, and we had Tristan Casas as well, and we have Xavier Isaac that was always kind of there too, even though he wasn't really doing well when Manzardo was here. I mean, he was probably always going to be what he is now, developed, and he just didn't really have a good spot for him. So 2 guys on base, 2 outs here for Nolan Gorman. He gets on base, load the bases up, but we're not able to do anything. So Taj is going to pitch a perfect game today, probably. Lead off single, a fly out. Xavier Isaac, nothing happening. See if he's able to get through another scoreless inning. Perfect game continues. This 1 out walk, a strikeout, and a fly out. Nolan Gorman really could struggle. I remember having him before. Did we? Honestly, we didn't have him on our team at any point. Oh, we did, and we traded him with Arizona. So did he ever actually play with us? Oh, he actually did. So we got him back. That's hilarious, though. But he fills that spot. Has a little bit more pop. And the second baseman we got wasn't really moving the needle. No out double for them. Hit by pitch. And that's it for them. A walk, a double play. So no runs for either team so far. Taj is at 69 pitches. So he's going to be able to get through this inning scoreless, which we'd love to see. Junior Caminero gets on base. Nolan Gorman watches the rain and then rolls into a double play. Randy hits a single. Cal gets out. So Taj is up to 83 pitches. We're going to see if he's able to get through this inning. He gets 1 out. Runner gets the third, but there's 2 outs, and he gets through the 6th. We get a guy on base, so he's going to. We need to just force him to steal. There we go. Let him swing away. A double here by Xavier Isaac is going to get him in, give us the lead. A walk here. Another walk. Nolan Gorman. Unfortunate. He's going to get out with the bases loaded. Taj pitched really well today. 6 shutout innings. So it is time to bring in really anyone. We could probably just bring in Ronaldo Lopez, our new acquisition. Let him pitch the 7th. Gives up a 2-out singles and an error. We need more runs. We do get another run, a triple there. Love to see that. And a sacrifice fly gets us a second run. Another walk. And that's it. But we do get a couple of runs there. So what we'll do is just leave Lopez in for this inning, since he has a little bit of support, a little bit of a sticky situation, but he's able to work out of it. And now we can bring in Devin Williams for the easy save. Easy save. Easy save. There we go. Easy save. So let's move into the next one. So we're up 6 games right now. Our team's looking really good. I think our trade acquisitions were good. Nolan Gorman, even though he didn't have a hit last game, he's batting 278 this year with 15 home runs. So he's helping give us a little bit more pop in the lineup, a little bit more potential for good things to happen. Chris Sale is going to get the start the next game. I think our trade deadline, we got a lot better. Let's look here at free agents. It's always good to kind of check these out just to see if there's anyone potentially interesting that is there. Not really.
And I think the last thing we'll do here is we will look around and see if players like this are potentially wanted by other teams. I would like to get a shortstop, ideally. All right, so nobody wants him. Pedro Avila. I feel like somebody would want Pedro. He is sorry I had to spit there. But he's pitched good this year. I just want to give us a bunch of old guys that are expensive. So nobody that really moves the needle. Jorge Soler is like kind of the best option. I guess if we wanted another good bullpen arm, but Hunter Brown could be interesting. We can get a 39-year-old Andrew McCutcheon. Get someone that's almost a man. He's almost 40. So no one that's really, yeah, so I mean, no one that's really that good. Let's just look at prospects as well. Maybe we just do some get some prospects. Mac Muncy, that's kind of a good prospect. We get Blaze Jordan. So I think the Athletics actually do kind of like that trade. All right, so throw him on there. Nobody wants him. Pretty toxic. Jesus Luzardo. Forgot he exists, but he's kind of stinking in AAA. Let's just see if we can just get some prospects for these guys. So we had a good shortstop prospect there. I think that's good. Throw him on there. Nobody wants him. So we'll throw Jesus Luzardo on there. And nobody wants him. So we'll go single player. So nobody really that good. Mark Church could be interesting, so we'll go ahead and just throw him on there. We get Aaron Bummer. That's an interesting one. But I don't know if we need more bullpen arms. Jeremy Estrada, that's kind of a crazy guy to give up. So I think we might just do that. Go ahead and grab him. And then see someone like Gleyber Torres, see if somebody wants him. Still get Kelly Jansen. They really don't want him on their team. Chris Martin, who's going to be out for 10 months. Why would we want him? Fernando Cruz, torn triceps, 3 months. Like guys that literally won't be able to pitch this year. 3 months. One of those guys. I mean, Tyler Fitzgerald definitely out of the two. Could be an interesting player to get. So I think we'll do that. I mean, Gleyber Torres. I guess that's kind of a lateral move. We don't need to do that. What am I? Like, ooh, a second baseman, that's pretty decent. But, like, that's what Gleyber Torres is. It's kind of a pointless trade to make. Let's just see if Chandler Simpson, with all his stolen bases, fetches some interest. I think the only player that I would trade for is a really good shortstop, which is not Jorge Mateo. George Valeria is a cool player. Oh, he's struggling in AAA. No one's really popping off the page. A lot of injured pitchers, a lot of old players. Xander Bogarts, but that's not really a good trade for us. Good bullpen arm, but we do not need more bullpen arms. We get Andres Jimenez, but my goodness, he's out for 2 months with a 5-year contract. No wonder they want to trade him. So we're going to keep him. And maybe we just see Joe Rock. So we have, after this one, 2 more trade attempts. So let's see if we can find a backup shortstop. Find a lot of starting pitching. A lot of pitchers. A lot of belly itchers. All right, so take Joe Rock off there. I think we're just kind of good there, so we'll just kind of rock and roll with what we have. But I mean, we're continuing to be a good team. We have made another trade to get Jeremy Estrada. So our bullpen is continuing to become insane. So Abner is going to get demoted. So we actually have probably the best. I don't know how they would rate the bullpen other than just ERA, but our bullpen is actually insane to have essentially just a bullpen full of closers. We have Ronaldo Lopez that can start games for us, but he's a closer, 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 closer. So we just added a 5th closer potentially, plus our regular closer who's doing well this year. So a really good team, and we have Chris Sale pitching in this game. So tune in for the next video to see Chris Sale pitching. I got up to an hour and a half, so crazy amount of time. But that's going to be it for this one. Hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.